We begin with an avalanche causing tragedy this afternoon in Morgan County.
The avalanche completely buried one of the Snowcats.
Chopper 5 is giving us the exclusive view from overhead as crews do everything they can to save a person from the slide.
What we're gonna do is hook to the back and start sliding it downhill.
Well, we was all here. We decided we was gonna go on a Snowcat ride. Had campfire steaks, just a nice day off. Everybody was happy, and we've done it before, and we just headed out, and it was a good time till we got up there.
It all started earlier this afternoon when a group of 7 people took 2 Snowcats up on the mountains behind me for some fun.
We headed up the mountain. We was, what, 150 feet or so behind Dan and Russ. And Blake actually, he seen the avalanche and he says, "Hey, avalanche."
And I got on a radio and I said, back up, back up, back up. Because we seen it, they didn't. And it was too late, it happened so fast. And we was sitting there, we did back up a little ways, and then the avalanche went through. And we thought, no, heck, we're gonna have to shovel that out. And all the dust settled. And the Snowcat wasn't sitting in front of us. And we was like,
Where did it
where
go?
the hell did that go? Started looking around, and immediately Tyrell jumped out and jumped in the snow, and he was clear up to his shoulders. Called 911 and said, we gotta have life flight up here.
Couldn't really see much else, just the top of the track sitting there, and more or less swam through the snow to get over there. And I never once thought that it was gonna knock him off the mountain. And it did. It took him 200-300 feet down the mountain. I mean, it tossed that Snowcat like it was nothing. Never did I think it was ever gonna turn into what it did. The only thing I could think of is we have to get there and get him out.
AG1 is something I've talked about a ton. You guys already know. It's literally the best thing in the world. So AG1 has 75 different vitamins and minerals and nutrients, superfoods, probiotics, prebiotics, essentially everything that your body wants and needs to be able to, operate at the highest capabilities is right here in this drink. I drink it 2 to 3 times a day. I drink it in the morning, and then I usually drink it around 2 or 3 in the afternoon when I start to get a little bit tired, get that crash, and boom, no more caffeine for me in the afternoon, which is fantastic because I sleep so much better. It has improved my gut health. I've noticed that when I drink this, I'm able to focus and just have a better mood overall. Guys, the results from this one little drink is insane. So you take 1 scoop of AG1, put it in cold water, shake it up, boom. So right here, I'm using the AG1 travel packs. That also comes in a tub with just a scooper. And the cool thing is, AG1 has decided to hook all of you guys up. So you can save like $20 on your first order, because on your first order, they're gonna throw in a 1-year supply of vitamin D K2 absolutely free, plus 5 of these little travel packs for free with your first order. I wouldn't promote this product if it didn't actually work for me, and I do believe that it'll work for you, and I want you to try it out. So click the link in my description below, place your order, and get your 5 free travel packs and a 1-year supply of vitamin D3 K2 absolutely free. Thank you, AG1, for sponsoring. Thank you guys for supporting AG1, because it's all one big happy circle where we all support each other, and that, my friends, is what I call a win-win-win. Today is recovery time. You can see we got the beast, Snowcat, right here, and we are here in Morgan, Utah, which is basically just on the other side of the mountain from where we live. And we're getting ready to go recover a Snowcat that was caught in an avalanche. Pretty devastating story, actually. A couple of guys up here having a great time, caught in an avalanche. Next thing you know, completely buried. So, and it's destroyed. Like, the cat has been smashed, it was flipped upside down, it was just completely destroyed by this avalanche. So getting it out of this canyon where it's at could be tricky without setting off any other avalanches. So that's why we're hurrying to get it done now rather than waiting for more snow, which will be coming this week, because then it'll be pretty much impossible. So here we go. As you can see, we got the Snowcat here. It landed originally upside down kind of, and they brought the excavator up here this spring, tipped it back over so that it wasn't a danger. So we're trying to save the tracks. The tracks are really nice, really expensive, and still in good shape. So what we're gonna do is hook to the back, spin it around, and start sliding it downhill. And then once we get down there, I'm probably gonna open up the tracks so they freewheel. I don't wanna do it right now because it's on the steep hill. So gravity's our friend right now. So basically, we can hook the back of mine, hook the back of this, and just down we go.
I was just in the back seat of the passenger Snowcat. There's 6 of us in there, and I was the one that called 911. As soon as that happened, I handed my phone off to Dawn and ran down and proceeded to help these guys with the digging. It was really scary because the possibility of losing Dan.
I was driving the Snowcat behind. We seen it come down and hit him, and I didn't really understand the power that Avalanche had. I kind of expected to see it sitting in the road, not a couple 100 feet down the hill. Dan is an uncle to me. He's the first guy I'd call when I actually needed something.
Yeah, he might be our boss, but he's also like a second dad to me. All I could think of is we got to get him out.
I am married to Dan. We've always talked, Dan and I, that if anything is ever going to happen to us and we're having fun, not to be sad. So I kind of went into that mode of like, hey, it's better than being in a rest home.
Obviously under the snow, I don't know if he could hear us, but we obviously couldn't hear him. You know, I mean, and that was where it got scary, is because his whole body and head was under the snow. And, you know, we knew he was going to run out of air.
I thought, you know what, Dan is not going to make it.
We didn't have the option to, you know, stop and talk about it. It was go. It was dig, dig, dig. And when one of us would wear out, the other one would step in. And that snow was, I don't know, 12, 15 feet deep. And we were digging whatever that 5 feet is or so down into the cab. It was a lot. It was a lot in a hurry.
Us 3 were pretty wore out down there.
We were on.
Had a ton of adrenaline, but we'd been going for a long time. Getting him out of there, I was starting to question it, whether we was going to or not. We were doing everything we could at that point anyway. It was kind of frustrating, I guess is the word. He didn't think he's gonna make it.
The 911 dispatchers told us to get out of there. It was too dangerous. And me and Shane and Trevor, we wasn't gonna stop. Like we'd have spent the night up there getting them out if we had to. Me and Shane got in there, and the windshield was sitting where it was sitting. You could see Dan's foot. And so I grabbed Dan's foot and he kicked his leg, and so then me and Shane really started digging after him then. Shane got in there and got his whole back uncovered in the back of his head, but we couldn't get to his face. And so then I tried to wrap my arms around him to pick him up, and the windowsill had wrapped around his neck. We couldn't quite get his face out of the snow, so kept going and digging. And me and Trevor and Shane, we were breaking sticks off the trees and using them to try to break the snow out because it was so thick, it was packed in there so tight.
Wasn't especially steep, but the snow here is very unstable right now.
The avalanche completely buried one of the Snowcats, the Snowcat that had 2 people inside. 5 people were in the other vehicle, and they were able to partially dig out their friends.
I'm Dan Wilkinson, and I was the one that was in the Snowcat accident. And I wouldn't be sitting here. This is hard. If it wasn't for those young, tough animals that was with me that day. I thought it's a beautiful day. Let's slough work. You know, kind of like sloughing school. Other it's better, you get paid for it. So we get up there, and there isn't a cloud in the sky. It's brilliant blue. We got over to the top of Pole Hollow. There's this great big drift overhanging. And I thought, you know, we ought to take a picture today. One of us might not be here tomorrow. When you get older, you realize that. We had to go about, another 1,000 feet, and then I could stop and make another call. Cut. Sorry about that. So me and Russ are in the cat, and they said, back up, back up. And they said it in a panicked voice. And I just looked, and we didn't have time to do anything. And I just reached over, grabbed the handle on the Snowcat with the blade, just got the blade up in front of us before it hit us. For a split second, I thought, it's gonna be okay, but it's gonna make a mess. And then as soon as that snow hit us, I go, this is not gonna turn out very good. Because the snow hit us, the windshield come through, and it packed us in just like a sardine. I felt the cat spin. At this time, everything's dark. Went down, and then I heard stuff like hitting the Snowcat, like rocks, or I didn't know what it was. I felt my leg get pinched, and then I knew I was in trouble. So I didn't know where we was, how we was sitting, and then it's quiet. And I've got snow right up tight to my mouth, nose. I can't breathe. And I thought, this is not gonna be a good way to go. And my arm was pinned in the snow. There was snow packed all around my arm and stuff, and my head, and I thought, I'd give up. I was out of air, and I thought, well, you gotta try something. So I started digging with just my hand. And I got it over to my mouth, and I got just a little pocket around there. And at that time, I didn't know it, but all these fingers and tendons was cut. And then I got a few breaths, and it's quiet. I don't hear a thing. And a calming feeling comes over you at that point. I was okay then. I thought, okay, it's over. And then I hear the noise, and then I think Shane gets a hole into my head, just a little hole dug there. I says, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And he says, yes, you can. And so they proceeded to get my head all undone. They dug, we was there for quite a long time, and I didn't think I was gonna make it. In fact, I told Shane, he was in line to take over. I says, you know, you're gonna have to grow up. because I figured that that was the last thing I was going to get to tell him.
So he started saying his goodbyes to me. We argued over that, just like everything else. Told him that wasn't happening today.
But when they got me free, I knew it'd be okay. There was a calming feeling, it'll be okay. And then when they airlifted me from there over to AirMed on the other ridge, and I was shaking, and I probably didn't know what was going on at that point. But I wouldn't have made it without these young, tough, determined men, and I don't like the phrase boss. It bothers me. We're friends. We work together, we try to make a living. That's about all I got to say. And I told Dave, I says, you know, if you want to go get that cat, I says, help us out. And he says, we'll do it. Those are some characters, let me tell you. He showed up here the next morning with a Snowcat loaded, full crew of men. It cost him a little bit of money. Dave ripped the hitch off the cat, you know, normal stuff. But they pulled it right out of there for us. And I told him, I says, you don't need to take it all the way out. I says, I can get it. Well, Dave didn't quit going. He didn't stop till we got down to the gate. Got back to the shop here. Dave had already fired up an excavator and hooked on the Snowcat and drug it right off in front of the door. I mean, those guys are animals. I don't know how I'll ever get even with them. They don't really know how much I appreciate that. I just want to say thanks to Diesel Brothers. We appreciate you.